Hello. Happy. What is today?
What is it regarding?
Happy Tuesday. Are you talking to me? Alex is talking to somebody on the phone. But look at our bathroom. This is our next project that we're working on. But I wanted to show you my sweatshirt. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so cute. No, this is not my merch, but my merch is coming out this Wednesday. I will have something similar to this. But if you want your pet's picture on stuff, you can have it. Go check out my magazine video, and there are discount codes on there for this. So I wanted to show it because I'm getting ready to take it off, but I love that so much. Look, I now have a sweatshirt with pee-pee on it. Alex just came home. He made his dinner for the night. I'm getting ready to go get something to eat. And we are watching Bring It On is on TV. Bring It On. Do you know the song? Bring It On? Da-da, da-da-da. You know that song? No. There's my husband washing his dishes. Yeah, the Clover song. We always sing the Clover song. The Clover song. Such an exciting night in the house of Monn Oh. Pee-pee, look, you're so famous that you have a sweatshirt with your face on it. Do you love it? You want to see your ears with the same treat? Aww. Say, now Dad, I have to have a treat. I gotta go get hot dogs for him anyway for his medicine, so. Boo Radley! Hi, Boo Radley! What are you doing, Boo? Boo. Boo Radley last night. Boo Radley, did you get scared? He got very, very scared because of the storms last night. The thunderstorms. He could not sleep. Oh. So anyway, I'm going to get something to eat and upload my video, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hello! I just woke up from a lengthy nap and ate the rest of my Noodles and Company Fresca low-cal, so good. And then I was like, I'm gonna go vlog. I also have to buy PP hot dogs. I have to go and buy PP hot dogs for his medicine. So anyway, it has been a good day. It's been a really good day. I've got my sweatshirt on. It's so comfy. And I love that I have a light blue sweatshirt. I've never had a light blue hoodie before. I also want a pink hoodie and a pink t-shirt. I need to go and purchase that. I live in t-shirts and hoodies now because I'm all about the comfort. I was actually sitting there and I was reading some of the comments that people left me on my vlog or vlogs from the last couple days. And if you guys want to know, there's all this conversation about how to do shade, shade in the gay community. Well, I guess it's not just in the gay community, but if you want to read shade, go read Cindy Sinluhu's comment on my video. And I mean this with all love and adoration, Cindy. She said, I heard an explosion in the sky yesterday and I didn't know what it was. And now I realize it was that Peter and Alex bought a washer and dryer. Girl, such shade. I kind of loved it, actually. So anyway, Cindy's always everywhere. She's in all my videos and she's in my live streams and stuff, so. I love teasing friends. I think that's fun. And I think that, I don't know. Sometimes I watch YouTube videos and I think maybe I was meant to be on YouTube 10 years ago, when anything, you could do anything and people weren't super sensitive and whenever I say that, people are like, well, you're sensitive too about stuff. And I'm like, well, I mean, let's be for real. There's a fine line between teasing and joking somebody and just absolute wrongness of the world, okay? There's a difference. And if you can't see that, then do you live in a box? I mean, so anyway, I liked that. I thought that was cute. Somebody else asked me, they said, if you're gonna do a video like once a week where you read comments, will you maybe just make like get half of like the video, not like the whole video? Yeah, that's not, I don't have a problem doing that. I mean, I'm sure for some people, for me just to sit there and read comments is boring, so I won't do that. I'll like just make it like a short part of the video. But it's fun for me sometimes because I like you guys to just see like the reaction. Look at my beautiful hair today. Look at, but for you guys just to see like the immediate reaction that I, you know, give when I'm like watching or reading the comments. But, and then Sally from the UK, hey Sally, she like just left a comment on my video. She said she just woke up, which means it would be early there. And she said that she had a dream that Alex and I came and stayed in her childhood home, and her in-laws were there, and she was like telling me that we could sleep in as long as we wanted, but she was just so excited to tell everybody that Peter Monn was sleeping at her house. That's so cute. Nobody's ever really cared to tell anybody that I was. It's funny to me, like, when I get comments like that, you know, where, I don't know, like, I just feel like such a normal Joe. So, you know, that, like, when I get comments like that, or when people will say to me, like, I'd die if I saw you in person, or I'd die if I met you, or something like that, or, like, a lot of people know that I'm going to Ultra Music Festival in Miami, and people are like, oh my gosh, I can't, if I run into you in Miami, I'll die, or other people are like, oh my God, I hope to God I run into you at Ultra. It's like, I just see myself as so normal. Like, it's kind of weird for me sometimes when I get those comments. Flattering, it's very flattering, but I don't think of myself as any different than you, like, except for that I film every second of my life and talk about things that even probably you don't care about. But anyway, Sally was talking about this dream that she had in there, and I mean, if you guys want to go read the comment and decipher it from a therapist point of view about dreamology and dream interpretation, have at it. But because I thought there was some interesting facts in the comment. But she asked me in there, she goes, do I think that dreams mean things? And first of all, let me just tell you, it is so beautiful outside, okay? It is early morning. I mean, it's like late, you guys. I went to bed last night. I went and got a fountain Coke with Tanya at like 9 o'clock. And I was gonna go do a live stream afterwards. Alex was sitting there and he was working on some stuff on his computer. Well, I'm gonna get to the dreams in a second, but let me just back up. I'll just tell you quick what my day was like. So I really had nothing to do today. And I got up with the dogs, I was gonna say the babes. I got up early with the pups and took them out and stuff like that. And then just kind of was doing some shit around the house and walked back upstairs and laid back down on the bed and fell asleep. And before I knew it, are you ready for this? I mean, my whole day was shot today, but I never allow myself to do this. And I was like so happy that I allowed myself to do this. I slept till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, I woke up and Alex was texting me and he was like, what are you doing? I said, I literally just got up and I'm laying here in bed with the dogs. And he was like, you just got up and it's 3? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you deserve it. You never do that. I don't. I never do that. I always push myself to get up even if I only get like 6 or 7 hours of sleep. And I sometimes wish like I could do, like, I don't even know how I would do it in a vlog, like, because it would have to be like on fast forward and I would have to have somebody like film me throughout the entire day. But I'm so driven on what I do in a day, from making lists to returning calls to people, you know, for my business, and helping Alex, you know, sometimes with stuff to do with the website. And like he was putting up, like he had like 4 posts he had to put up today, and he's trying to get a lot of interviews. And when we go to Ultra in Miami, we go to like a lot of parties down there, like that different DJs throw, or that are thrown at like certain hotels. And we do a lot of media stuff. So he's like, right now is like crush season for him on that, because we're coming up on festival season. Festival season starts in the spring, and Ultra is really like the first festival we go to. We really wanted to go to Coachella this year, but it's like the second week after we got back, and there's just no way to make that happen. So maybe next year we'll do Coachella. But it's him like getting a lot of these posts ready and trying to like arrange like media visits and things like that. And so a lot of my day is helping him with that. You know, and then with my, you know, business, like I have to put together these packages. So a lot of it is me sitting there and like, you know, coming up with like, okay, what's going to work appropriately for these people, pulling old files of what I've done to similar, you know, companies or organizations, coming up with new ideas because I love to like be creative and be like really, really new and all this kind of stuff. Like, so for example, this is so corny. Like, I don't know that you guys will even understand this. But, okay, so, I mean, because you'd have to see it in action to see how it really works. I bet you anything the deer are out tonight because it's so nice. They're not. Not one deer is out. I can't believe it. I would have thought there would have been like 8 or 10 of them out there. But, like, I'm doing this team building weekend. Well, I'm doing one day of it. It's going to be a 2-day weekend. But they're doing it in, like, this park, and it's going to be in late spring. And so I'm going to do Easter baskets. And so have all of these different things that they can be put in there. But they're going to be kind of like abnormal Easter baskets. And then they have to, like, pick a name from somebody on their team. And then put together an Easter basket for them. And then they have to, like, knowing them, they have to come up with an Easter egg hunt based on knowing that person. And then they have to come up with, like, clues. And so it's really about, like, how well do you know your coworker? How do you communicate to them, knowing what they know? And, like, things like that. And what are you willing to do to work with them in a way that makes them happy? So there's going to be, like, a whole processing that we do with it, right? It's not really about the Easter basket. It's really about the other things. So, like, I'm trying to put that together right now in a way that's, like, clear. And, like, what I just said to you, half of you are just kind of like, huh, what? So it's like I'm trying to come up with, with a way that it's clear and what I need, because it's not going to just be, like, candy. I mean, it's not going to be that kind of Easter basket. It's going to be, like, there will be like 6 different kinds of books that you can pick from, that you'll put like a book in there, or, you know, like, there's going to be like one toy, and then you have to pick like from 6 different toys, and you can like order it ahead of time. It'll, anyway. So they're going to do it on like the first day, and then I'm going to go shopping and buy the stuff for them to put in there. And then the second day is the Easter egg hunt. It'll be cool. So anyway, whenever I do something like really like out of the box like that, people seem to love it. But that's a lot of my day too, is coming up with stuff like that. And then I write, you know, that I usually write for at least 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's me just sitting at the computer, which, you know, like every 20 minutes is taking the dogs out, or, you know, doing something, feeding the dogs, or answering a call or something like that. I try to turn my phone off. I honest to God do not know how people like go to Starbucks and like write. I just don't. I can have like no distractions, no TV, no music, anything. And I know that everybody has their own like different writing medium. But for me, I have to have complete total silence. So that was, you know, but it would be interesting if you guys like saw my day, because I'm very busy throughout the day. I mean, you see me in a car late at night or sitting in that chair. And that's a big part of it too, is like me figuring out like what video I'm going to do today, you know, like, and one of the things is I wish that I filmed them earlier in the day so that I got them up earlier in the day. And that's kind of one of my goals, like in the next couple weeks, is to like get up and do my videos first in the morning before I do anything else. Like take a shower, sit down, film them, and start editing them. Well, editing them, I don't edit them, but, you know, uploading them. So I get them out, or I get them up like as soon as possible. Because sometimes my videos are coming up at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night right now, you know? Anyway, I like being busy. I've always liked being busy. I have a hard time being still. What are they working on out there so late at night? Tanya and I were talking about that tonight. And she even said to me, she said, you know, you've really learned to be still in the last couple years, like where you can just sit down and enjoy a book or enjoy, you know, just a conversation. And we were driving around, and she's like, you couldn't just sit like, you know, an hour. There are like all these like utility guys out. I don't know what they're doing. There must be utility lines down or something. It's very spring weather right now. Like mean, 65 is crazy for February, and it's like windy as hell, and it's like rainy outside, but anyway, so the fact that I got to like sleep in today was really, really nice. Oh, this is why I slept in so late too. Man, I got home last night, and so when I come home now, what I do is I upload my vlog, and then while I'm sitting there, it takes me like 5 minutes because I have to upload it to my computer, and then I like upload it, I like put it onto iMovie, and then I render it, and I let it do that while I'm sleeping. And so then when I get up, I just upload it to YouTube. And so when I got home last night, it had just started like pouring down rain, and so I sat there and I did that. Okay, so I do that, and then while it's uploading and doing all that kind of stuff, I do my gratitude journal, and then like I do my prayers and meditations before I go to bed, and then I went upstairs and I went to sleep. Well, it was late anyway. It was like 5:30, and so it started like thundering and raining, and Boo Radley. Okay, so Tucker and Pee-Pee are not afraid of the rain or the storms at all. Like, it doesn't bother them at all. But Boo Radley, it just rattles his bones. And I used to talk about this on here a lot. And in fact, I can't remember who sent it to me, but somebody sent me I was gonna say the necklace, the collar that's supposed to stop the thunder from scaring them, and it did not work at all. And I've also thought about getting the thunder coats for Boo Radley. He just doesn't do really well in like wearing things, so I don't know how that would work for him. But man, he was like clawing at my chest, and then he's like sitting right here, and I'm like pushing him down. I'm like, Boo, sweetie, you can't, like, I can't sleep like that. But he's so nervous, and he's like panting, and he's on my chest, and he's panting, and you know, and then it like with thunder and lightning outside like real hard, and he just right into my chest, like I could feel it with his nails. So finally, after, you know, and I'm holding him, and I'm like, Boo Radley, it's okay, honey, it's okay, you know, it's just a storm, it's just a storm. And I mean, he doesn't understand. I could say that to him all night long, you know. But anyway, so I'm holding him and trying to like get him relaxed, and it's like nothing will relax him because he just can't. Well, they can't really hear the storms in the basement where their cage is, their house. So I finally was like, okay, come on, Boo and Tucker. So that was at like 6:30, something like that, after I had like laid there for 40 minutes trying to get him settled down. So finally I put them down in their house and got them all cozy down there, and it's so funny because he like ran down there. He was ready to go to that house. And it's interesting to me, like the whole crate training thing with dogs, you know, because like with my past dogs, like I've never had a dog that was crate trained. Not at my dad's house, not at my mom's house, not mine, anything. And you know, people would always say, oh, they love their house, they love their crate, or they would call it their crate. You know, they love their crate. They go in there all the time. I was like, yeah, sure, they love their crate, you know. But Boo Radley loves his crate, like he does. Like we leave it open all day long. He just walks down there. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but he used to sit down there like for hours. Like we'd be like, where's Boo? And he'd just be sitting. If you walk down there, he'd just be sitting there, just looking around like, hey, I'm just out here hanging out. And he loves it. And one of the things that's so funny is that, so their cage is really big. I don't know if I've ever shown it on here before, but it's probably 3 feet deep and like 2.5 feet high, and then like probably 2.5 feet wide. And I used to go down there, and I would like start climbing inside, and I go, let me get inside your house, let me get inside your house. And Boo Radley would go, he would like laugh, like dogs laugh, do you know that? He would laugh. I am saying that I wanted to like grow this part of my hair out, but I am not liking it down here longer. Do you guys like it longer on that one side or no? But anyway, so anyway, but he loves his little house. Tucker does too. I mean, we literally say house, and they go in there immediately, like immediately. They have no problem going in there. So I don't even know how we crate trained him to go in there. We just started putting him. I don't even remember. People ask me all the time. They're like, how did you crate train your dog so well? I'm like, I have no clue. Like we just started putting him. We go to your house, and we go put him in there, and they go in there. They never fought us on it. They like it. And then we just left the door open, you know, like always. We just That's the thing, I think, is that you're supposed to leave the door open so they can kind of go in and out when they want to. The other thing is, unless they're in there for long periods of time, like if we're gone to do something with work and we just can't come home to let them out, they never go to the bathroom. They never go potty in their house, ever. Like, they never poop in there or pee in there. Randomly, they will, and it's always, like, if they've been in there for, you know, like, I don't know, a majority of the day or something like that, and they just can't help it because they're such little dogs. And in that case, we always try to, like, take them out right before we leave and, you know, all that kind of stuff, which you should do if you're, you know, a good dog owner, so. But anyway, so what was I saying about all that? Oh, that was why I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, or I didn't get to sleep till late. So then, at like, so this is what happens. I don't know how these dogs hear the way that they do, but Pee-Pee wakes up, like, whenever he wakes up and starts shaking. Usually Boo and Tucker sleep with us. Are they sleeping with us tonight? No, they're not. Alex put them in their house. Because I got up and I went into the bathroom and I came back out and, like, I could see Pee-Pee's head in the dark. I could always see this little head right here with the two little ears. It was just sitting up in the dark. And then he had to go outside. So, but what happens is Pee-Pee gets up, and the first thing he does when he gets up is shakes. And I don't know how, but they can hear it downstairs. And so they immediately start barking, right? And then it's like, I have to get up because they won't stop barking. I have sometimes, like, been like, Tucker, no! And they won't. Like, I have to go let them out. So now I've just learned, just get up and let them out. And then that's what happened. I got up, and it was like 10:30 or 11 or something. And it was so weird. It was like, woke up to this, like, beautiful day outside. Not beautiful day, but it wasn't, like, it was kind of cloudy, and it was so warm and stuff. And so I took them out, and then I was, like, in the kitchen, like, cleaning some stuff up. I was doing dishes and whatever so I could load the dishwasher. And then I walked back upstairs, and I just was, like, fell back asleep. I never do that. So it was nice. But anyway, then I got up and I did some stuff. I didn't have anything really to do, and made my video. I made a video today, and then another video because I actually did a sponsored video for this sweatshirt. And this company is really cool. It's called Bring Her Pets. Like, now y'all know I won't do a sponsored video unless I can support the company, right? So I do my investigations before I would sponsor a company. But and I also, like, I have merch coming out this weekend. So this is really more for if you wanted something that would have your pet's picture on it. And, but if you go to their website, like, they really do a nice job. And I have to say, I was super impressed when it came in the mail. Like, I really thought it would be, I don't know what I thought. Like, you know, I'm very skeptical of, like, print on demand kind of, like, products. But the quality of this sweatshirt is, like, really nice. It's like a really, really nice sweatshirt. And they did such a great job of Pee-Pee, and they were real honest about it too. They were like, there was one where Pee-Pee's head was, like, sticking out of a blanket, and they said they couldn't do that picture because of the blanket. And so anyway, so when you're watching this, if they approved my video, because I had to send it to them for them to approve it. It was a magazine video. I think it's called I Have Some Opinions, or I Have Something to Say, or something like that. So anyway, go check it out, and the discounts for if you want to get your pet's thing on something are over there. So anyway, yeah, I did those videos, and then my other video that I did on John McLean, and I posted those. And then I just was like, Alex is coming home. I don't really feel like doing, what do you call it? A video on my Peterisms channel or my Peter Likes Books, because I would have had to have rushed it. And I already have them written down for what I'm going to do tomorrow, though. And I just didn't want to rush through the videos, you know? And I've kind of made Alex a deal that he doesn't care if I live stream. Like, he and I do, like, work in the evenings anyway, unless it's like a night that we've, like, dedicated to go out, or a night that we've dedicated to, like, just watch our TV shows. Like, he's either got his computer and he's working on stuff, or I've got my computer and we're, like, watching a movie. Like tonight we watched Bring It On. Do you remember that movie? Oh my God, I love that movie so much. And so we watched Bring It On, and I ate and he ate, and we were sitting there, and but like I told him, like, with having like the lights and everything set up, that I would have that stuff down by the time he got home, because he's like, I just want to be able to come home and relax in my own house. I'm like, I totally understand that. So as far as filming the videos, he doesn't care about the rest of it, but he's just like, can you have the filming of the videos like at least done when I come home? And I was like, yeah, sure. So that was another reason why I didn't do those videos over there. He's kind of funny. He was kind of hard on me tonight. He was like, I thought you said that you were going to do a live stream. And I was like, I was going to, but I've got a really, really bad headache. And he was like, is it the barometric pressure? And I said, I don't know. Like, I had a total migraine today. It was interesting that whenever I talk about migraines in my videos, there's always like lots of people that comment on it and give suggestions and things like that. Somebody in there was like talking about lavender and like lavender candles. Lavender does not work for me at all. And in fact, my migraines are not affected by smell in any way whatsoever. What's really strange is that I have migraine disorder associated with my epilepsy, and I have juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. And I really think I'm starting to believe that my migraines are a side effect of the Depakote. Somebody commented on that in my vlog, and I'm really starting to believe that it's true, because I always notice that, like, I take my Depakote, and then like a half an hour later, I've been tracking it, that I'll get like a really, really bad headache. And so I'm kind of wondering if it's related to that. But like today I woke up and it was raining out. Whenever it's raining outside and kind of like humidity, and it was humid today, I'm screwed. In the summer, I have just bad headaches left and right. The humidity just kills me. And it's the pressure, it's the barometric pressure. And my doctor told me that when I got diagnosed with him. He said the type of migraines that you have, which I don't even know what they're called, he was like the type of, oh shoot. It's like on the tip of my tongue. The type of migraines that I have are based on pressure. And, you know, so they're going to change conditionally to the weather. And he's like, and there's not really a lot we can do. And somebody in my video today, they commented and they said something about pain meds. Pain meds don't work for me either. Aleve really helps a lot, naproxen. But I have to take a lot of it. And so, like, for me to get rid of a migraine with Aleve, I have to take like 4 Aleve. And so I try not to take it anymore, because like I try to take it like maximum once a week anymore, because I save it until the days that are really, really bad, if that makes sense. I took Imitrex for a while. It did not work, and it was so expensive. I did Midrin, and I hated it. It made me feel funky. And so I was like, I can't take this, because I don't like anything that makes me feel a little bit off. It's why I don't, you know, there's addicts and alcoholics out there that are in recovery that will take like cold medicine and stuff like that. I don't do any of that. None of it. I'm like a Puritan when it comes to that stuff. And I'm gonna get some shit about this. I know I am, but in fact, it was interesting because somebody put, I'm doing a Q&A, and there was like on my Instagram, and so I asked people for my opinions about things, and somebody said, what do you think about somebody that's on medical marijuana that's in recovery? And I mean, my initial reaction to that is, it's really their business what they do. It's not mine. I mean, you know, however somebody defines their recovery. If I would not in my recovery, oh, that stupid battery thing is on. I would not in my recovery be comfortable using medical marijuana. I also wouldn't be comfortable, you know, I would be comfortable taking short-term narcotics if it was for like wisdom teeth coming out or a major surgery. I'm not going to go through pain that is unrealistic because I'm an addict. But what I would do is I would have Alex get the prescription. I would have him dole it out to me. And this is per what I have learned in recovery. And then when I didn't need the medication anymore, I would have him throw it out. And, but I wouldn't be comfortable being long-term on something. And there's enough, you know, non-habit forming pain management strategies out there that work, that I think that I would probably go that avenue until I found something that really took that away. Now, I mean, if I had cancer and it was the only thing that took the pain away, would I smoke? I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I've had a lot of friends of mine that have had cancer that were in recovery, you know? And so, you know, it's interesting, but how did I even get onto that? Oh, I was talking about how I don't use anything that's over the counter, but I don't. Like NyQuil or, you know, like cold medicine, any of that stuff I don't take. So it's hard, but now I've just kind of learned to live with my migraines, you know? I don't really allow anything to stop me from doing what I want to do with my life. You know, it's interesting because I say, like, whenever I say, like, oh, I'm sick, like, somebody will say on my comments, like, you're always sick, right? But what's interesting about that is that, like, I get, like, my stomach will hurt from time to time where I'll be like, oh my God, I feel so sick. Or, you know, like, I'll have, like, a cold and I'll sick. But I don't ever stay home from doing something. I don't ever let it stop me. I continue to post my videos. I continue to go to work. I continue to function and go to 12-step meetings. You know, like, I can't remember a time in, like, honestly, in the last 10 years where I have ever called in sick, or been so sick that I needed to do that. So I think sometimes my saying that I'm sick is more of like a complaint strategy. It's like, if I can just get it out and say, God, I feel sick, then I feel better about things. You know what I mean? And then I'm done. I've complained about it, you know? Oh, but I wanted to talk about, because in my computer, my camera's about to shut off here because the battery thing is hot, and it is also at 29 minutes. But I want to say this, and then I'll come back and talk about this. Sally asked me in there, do I think about dreams? And it was interesting because I had just woken up from, like, this very, very vivid dream that I was having about my workplace. And so I wanted to talk about dreams in the workplace, because there's a lot that's been said about that with you know, studies that have been done and things like that. So I will be back, and I'm gonna let the camera cool down for a second, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm at the gas station. I just filled up my gas tank. The convenience stores of Speedway. Why do they even have those TV shows that are like gas station TV? And what kills me is that, like, when you go to certain gas stations like BP, or I don't know which one it is, but they'll be like, #1 in gas station television. I'm like, who rates these gas station televisions? Like, that is so hilarious to me. Like, oh my God, you have the #1 television station at the gas station. Who'd care? Anyway, at the convenience stores of Speedway, they had this commercial on there, and it was like these people, and they were like, it was kind of embarrassing, but then I was like, oh my God, you know that if it was me and I got asked to be in the commercial, I would totally do it. And then I would have all my friends go to Speedway and watch the commercial to see me in it. That would be my moment of fame in life. And it was like these people, and this guy was like, I start every morning with a vanilla cappuccino at Speedway. And then it was this woman, and she's like, I love it because I get my 7th cup of coffee for free. Oh my gosh. Why is it just like normal stuff like that cracks me up? I don't know. People going into work and it is like 4 something in the morning. That is insanity. I do not live that life. Like, people think that my life is weird. Who goes into work at 4 in the morning? Like, at that's a doctor's office. No, that's wrong. That means you have to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Who does that? There is nothing right about that in the world. I know some of you out there are like, yeah, that's the life that I live. I can't even imagine. I think kids go to school too early. I think school should be like from like 9 to 1, and then they should just be able to play in the afternoons. But that wouldn't work for parents that have to work jobs, I know, so. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna talk about the dream thing. It was funny when I was reading that comment, because I had just woken up from this like really vivid dream, right? And in my dream, I was working for my old boss. And, you know, I sometimes wonder, I wonder if like the people that I used to work with ever watch my vlogs. I'm sure they don't. I mean, there's only probably like 5 or 6 of them that would even, you know, really understand the story anyway. But so we all worked for, you know what, I used to be like so protective of these stories about my work, but it's my story, so I'm going to tell it. You know, I worked for this organization for 13 years, and I started there as a tech, and then I became I worked my ass off And I loved it. I loved everything about it. And then I became a counselor. Then I became the supervisor over the techs. And then I became a counselor in training. And then I became a counselor when I got my master's degree. And I was also the liaison between the treatment center and the Department of Corrections. I went all over and did assessments in the state of Indiana. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the job ever. And then I was an inpatient residential counselor. That's what I did for the longest period of my job there, probably 9 years. I was an inpatient residential counselor. And I reported directly to my supervisor. We didn't have, like, our clinical team was myself, my supervisor, the family counselor who ran, like, the parent education program, and she was also kind of like an extra counselor. And she and I were partners at one point. And then myself, okay, there was my supervisor, and then there was the family counselor, and then there was the 2 inpatient counselors, the 2 outpatient counselors, and then there was a float counselor, sometimes, but not always. Let's just say there wasn't there. And then there was, that was it. We had a teacher when school was in session because we had a classroom. When I left, they had built a recovery high school, so most of the students went there, but if the kids were there for a short period of time, like 2 weeks, they would go to the school that was like on the, they would go to the school that was in like the classroom. I miss her a lot, the teacher that worked there. She and I were really close. I haven't seen her since the day I left. That's kind of weird to me, and I haven't seen her in 10 years. And I sometimes wonder what happened to her. I wonder what happened to a lot of people that I work with. You know, it's weird when you work somewhere with people every day and you're like thick as thieves and you know everything about them and their kids' names and their kids' birthdays and what their partners do, and you know everything about their lives and vacations they take and where they live and their houses, and you hear their ins and outs of their life, and then one day, poof, you're just gone, and it's like you don't hear anything about them anymore, you know? And my whole attitude about the work environment really changed when I left there. I didn't hear from anybody. Nobody called me. Nobody checked in. And what happened was, after I left, like 3 people left after I did within like the next year and a half, and it got really bad there. And you know, for the first 10 years that I was there, I was really close with my supervisor, and she saw me as a visionary, and, you know, I always came up with a lot of the ideas of the things that we did. It was my idea for the Recovery High School. That's a fact. It was my idea to do this independent living program for, you know, the adolescents, and we went and, like, toured halfway houses around the country, she and I, and looked at them, and we went to like Louisiana. We looked at I remember we went to these programs in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Beautiful country out there, and some in like Indiana and Michigan. But anyway, the politics of the organization started to change, and it was suggested to her that she and I would talk on the phone like every night. I mean, I was literally her right-hand man. And it was suggested to her by a CEO that started there that supervisors not be close with their, their employees. And what was really interesting to me about that was that, like, I never had any problem knowing my boundaries, if that makes sense. Like, you know, when we would talk on the phone in the evening, we were friends, and she was one of my best friends at the time, you know? And people are, like, passing me left and right out here. I'm just going to slow down. Is this car going to pass me or not? Like, they come really fast, and then they don't pass me, and then they sometimes pass me. But anyway. But, like, she and I were, like, best friends. Like, we talked on the phone, like, every night. And then one day it just kind of stopped. And I didn't really understand what was going on. And I remember I said to her, like, what is going on? Like, you know, we don't talk anymore and stuff like that. And she said, well, she was like, you know, I have to start being more, you know, professional with boundary setting and whatever. Well, then that kind of went to her head a little bit, and she was always like, you know, talking about department head meetings and all this kind of stuff, and she wasn't like letting me in on things as much anymore, which I didn't really care about all that. But, you know, it just, I could totally tell a shift in her behavior. And I'll never forget the day that the Recovery High School started. You know, it had been my idea, and I based it on, I used to be So like all I did was like eat, sleep, and breathe addiction recovery, and I was constantly reading articles, and I had seen this documentary on Sobriety High in Minneapolis, and I think it comes out of Hazelden. It's the program that like modeled recovery high schools in the country, and I remember the day that the high school opened, and I didn't even get invited to the opening of the school. She didn't even ask me to be there. And at one time, she wanted me to be the principal. She wanted me to go get my principal certification and be the principal of the school. And then and I said no. I said, that's not what I want to do. Like, I don't want to work in a school. Like, I have no desire to work in a school. And I'll never forget, I passed her in the hall, and she was going to the groundbreaking of the opening of the school. And I looked at her. I'll never forget this. I knew, like, in this moment, I knew it was done. Like, I knew my time there was over. And that was like 4 years before I left. And I looked at her and I said, "Are you so excited?" And she looked at me and she said, "Have you ever had a dream that you came up with all on your own and then it came true?" And I thought, are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously? Are you gonna sit there and look at the person in the face whose idea this was, that you totally signed your name to? And I was done in that moment. And, you know, I think it was like this underbelly of resentment that I really never dealt with while I was there, and I think it came out in other behaviors. After that, I just kind of gave up. I didn't really give a shit anymore. I just went in and did my job. I loved working with families. I loved, you know, working with the parents and stuff like that. My coworkers, I didn't really care anymore. A lot of them that I had started with had left anyway. I wasn't really that invested with them, the new people that came in. It was a different breed. I started saying to myself, it was my time to get out of it anyway. I had aged out, you know, which was true. I didn't want to work in administration. I wasn't any good with that, you know? And I had been at one point the team leader and showed my ass in a couple clinical meetings and got really angry, and so they like demoted me. And I'll never forget, my supervisor sat in there. It was like I had to have this meeting with her and this HR director and stuff, and I think they were so worried to tell me, and she was like, "We're gonna put you back in direct care as a counselor." And I was like, "Yeah, I think that's probably best." And she was like, "So you're okay with that?" And I said, "Yeah, I think that's probably best." And the HR director looked at me and she goes, who I never got along with. She's a bitch, a complete bitch, total bitch. And I ended up running into her like 2 years after I left there, and she didn't even say hi to me in a parking lot of a grocery store. She looked right at me and kept on walking. I worked with the woman for 13 years, right? Like she was my HR director. And I looked right at her and I said, "Are you truly not going to say hi to me after like all this time?" And so she was like, "Oh, I didn't see you there." I said, "You looked right at me." People kill me, you know? So anyway, but I'll never forget her sitting in that office, and she looked at me and she said, you know, like, "So you're not going to quit?" Which then I realized they wanted me to quit, right? And I said, "No, why would I quit?" I said, "You're right." I said, "I'm not good in a team leadership program." I said, I've known always since I was in high school, you know, that I don't work well, you know, as a leader. Like, I'm much better as a part of a group when you tell me what my part is that I need to do, and I do it. I'm not a good team leader, you know? "So you mean you're not going to quit?" I go, "No, like, I'm ready to go back and being a counselor. It's just not that deep, you know, to me." So anyway, they're like, "Well, there's a pay demotion." I'm like, it was like, the pay demotion was like $1,500 a year or something. I was like, whatever. I'll be happier. I'll be happier what I'm doing, because I'm not happier now. I'm not happy now in this, you know, program. But anyway, so I had this dream tonight, and what's interesting is that, like, I haven't really thought, other than talking in vlogs and things like that, about that organization in a long time. And the really strange thing is that nobody other than the guy that trained me when I started there, he's amazing, amazing. He's like, this guy is so cool. He's like the deacon of his church. He's like never done, if you met him, you would totally think he had lived a life, right? He has never done a drug or drank in his entire life by choice. He is so awesome. And he's been there now for like 25 years, more than that. He trained me, and he's still there, and my supervisor's still there in a much different capacity. But anyway, so somebody had asked me something about work today. They said, "Oh, didn't you used to work with so-and-so?" And I said, "Yeah, and now she's over here." And a lot of the people that I used to work work with went and did some kind of really cool things, but they all ended up working for like the state or treatment programs or open private practices. And I just, now I do YouTube videos. No, I mean, now I do corporate training. It's kind of funny where we all ended up, and but so I had this dream tonight that I had like, it was weird because I was like approving approving videos, and so there was this video that I was supposed to approve, and like that was part of like, I don't know, like our clinical team meetings, like these YouTube videos that I had to approve that she put together. And I was telling her, I was like, I don't think that we should put that out. And she was like, yeah, we should, and you're gonna do what I tell you to do. Now, she never spoke to me that way. I mean, she never was that direct to me, but it felt like that at times, that like I had to do things that she told me to do that I didn't necessarily agree with. Never anything inappropriate, never anything that was, illegal or, anything like that. Like, just things I didn't want to do, like moving somebody into an outpatient program when I felt like they needed to stay in inpatient a little bit longer, things like that. There were things that I just, we didn't see eye to eye on, and so anyway, or like taking away somebody's home pass. She'd say they don't deserve a home pass. They haven't done anything. And I'd be like, well, I want them to go on a home pass because I want to see what they do with it. I want to see, if they're successful in a home pass, if they can, behave or whatever. Oh no, they're not having a home pass. And that was kind of how it was. She'd just like draw a line in the sand. She'd say, nope, I'm the last word on this. They're not doing it. And I'd be like, okay. Well, in the dream, and it was interesting because I was just talking about this on my Peterson's video yesterday, and I really think that's what dug it up for me, was that I had some feelings attached to it, And so anyway, in my dream, our paychecks were sitting there. Well, what was so weird was that the paychecks were this printer paper that was like, I remember we had this printer paper that like treatment plans would be printed out on, and it was the same, like our paychecks looked like treatment plans. And so when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, that was weird, and my paycheck was $95. I don't know why in my head I remember this, but it was $9,500, and all of our paychecks were $9,500. Now let me just tell you, okay, I don't know what you know about social workers working in treatment facilities, but we didn't make $9,500 in 2 weeks. No, ma'am, not in a never. If we did, I'd probably still be there right now. But anyway, it was so interesting, and I woke up and I thought to myself, I was thinking to myself, like, I talked about this in my John McClane video today. Oh no, that was the video that I talked about it in, is when somebody has agency over you, that like, and I felt that way, like, for two reasons. Number one, because I needed the job and she was my supervisor and I was highly respectful of her, like highly respectful of her. And the other thing was that, I wanted her approval and her validation so bad, And when I did inventory on the whole situation and my relationship on her, I realized that, she was one of many people in my life that I needed validation from, that I needed acceptance from, that, she just was one of like a lot, but she was at the top of the list. And even when we were getting along and we were friendly with each other, like I would like need this kind of like validation from her, and I don't know, it's so weird. It's like, why did I need that from her? I don't know. And I think a lot of it is that I just felt like such junk when I got sober. And she gave me a chance, She gave me a chance and she believed in me when nobody else believed in me. And so, like, in a weird kind of way, I felt indebted to her for giving me a chance. Like, and that's ridiculous, right? Like, we don't need to give anybody that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people should give us chances in life. They should. And I don't think that we owe it to people, you know what I mean? Like, for giving us chances. I don't know, but like I always felt like, looking back on that, I always felt like I needed something from her. I talked to her like 2 years ago. It was an interesting conversation, and at that time, I wanted to make amends to her, and I was redoing my 4-step, which is when you make a searching and fearless moral inventory of your life, and I knew that I had to call her because it was like about a business thing, and so I called my sponsor and I said, I want to make amends to my old supervisor. I just want to clear this. And he goes, no. He goes, I'm not okay with you doing that. And I said, why not? And he goes, we haven't even gone over your 4-step yet. He goes, so I don't know what you're making amends for. And he said, I'm not allowing you to set yourself up for further pain of going over in there and taking ownership like you did in the past. He's like, you and I have talked about this a lot. And he was like, you were really good, you know, for going in and going in and going in and always just taking responsibility for things that had nothing to do with you just to make the relationship okay. And he was like, that's a pattern in your life and you're not going to do it. He said, you're not going to do that. He goes, that's a pattern in your life that you take responsibility for a situation which you have no ownership in whatsoever, you know? He goes, that's allowing somebody to have control over you. And when I heard in the John McLean video, when John said, nobody has the right to have agency over you, I was like, oh my God, like seriously, you know? Like they don't. And it just resonated with me on such a high level that I just was like, that's so true. And, I'm wondering if maybe that's why I had that dream, you know? And that still lingers out there, and now I don't want to call her, you know, make amends to her now that I have done all that kind of stuff, and she's not even on my amends list, which is funny. And I made amends to her a long time ago, you know, like I'd done another inventory and I took responsibility for my behavior when I was there, and man, that was hard, you know? I'll never forget, she and the girl, I hired the girl that took over my position as team leader. She was much better at it than I'll ever want to be, but she was a natural leader. But anyway, and she and I worked together for 10 years. I hired her as a tech. I trained her. She ended up becoming my partner. And I adored this girl. I went to her wedding. I was there, you know, with her kids getting born and everything. And on a Friday, when they demoted me, she said, you know, she called me, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine, blah, whatever. I'm happy that it happened. She goes, okay, I was so worried about you and whatever. That Tuesday, I come in to work, and we have a clinical team meeting, and they announced that she was the new team leader. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? She didn't even have the balls to call me. She had the balls to call me and ask me if I was okay, but she didn't have the balls to call me and tell me she was taking the position. That stung, I have to admit. But when I left, man, her story, she got treated 10 times worse than I ever wanted to get treated. But I'll never forget the day that I walked out. She and my supervisor, they came down the hallway and they turned to leave, and they didn't even look and say goodbye to me or anything. They didn't say nothing to me on the day that they left, on my last day. I'll never forget that. But this counselor, Amy, that I absolutely love, she and I worked together for a long time. She's really done some shit with her life. And she and I still talk. And this woman, Kathy, that worked third shift, she and I had worked together from the very beginning. And she sang the song to the Carol Burnett show as I was walking off the unit that night. Those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. And we sometimes look for validation from people that will never give it to us, and those that give it to us, we sometimes don't even care. And it's much easier in life to care about those people that are the ones that are going to give us validation. I don't seek validation from people anymore that I know I'm never going to get it from, because it's a losing battle. It's tiresome, it hurts, and I know I'm never going to get it, you know? I need to get something to drink. That woman, Kathy, I wonder where she's at. She was a keeper. I guess if I cared so much, I probably would have kept in touch with her. Oh, my Lord. So, I don't know, but I was dreaming about that tonight. It's funny how you can be gone from a place for 10 years and still dream about it, you know? Isn't that weird? And dream about it like it was yesterday. But the reason I was going to talk about this is that they say that if you dream about the workplace, that means you're working too much. I don't know if that's true or not. I kind of hope they have hot dogs in here that I don't have to go into the grocery store for Pee-Pee's hot dogs. But you know they don't have hot dogs at a gas station. You just know that they don't. I mean, they have like a hot dog probably cooked, but... All right, you guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow. That was kind of a sad ending to my vlog, wasn't it? Well, let's cheer each other up. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 ain't 9. I love you guys. Bye.